Is everyone else good to start then?
Yeah, no, I'm here and ready.
Yay. Whoever that asshole was that you owned, feel bad about yourself.
Yeah, you
Mm.
should feel bad about yourself. Random person who yawned.
It was you, wasn't it?
Could have been.
Personally, I think it could have been anybody in this call.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, podcast. Hi, everybody.
Hello, welcome.
We're here.
I went on a trip.
Okay.
Was it fun?
So, I went to Cancun, Mexico. And yeah, I had a great time except for the end of it. Um which ended up poorly. But that's okay. Actually kind of started poorly as well. So, like, it was on a Tuesday that our flight was like 5 a.m. on Wednesday was when our flight was going to be because it got pushed back. Mm. That meant because we were flying out of the country, we had to be there at the airport by 2 a.m., which meant on Tuesday night I did not sleep.
That's always
Uh,
fun.
we went and did a 2 hour flight down to like Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona. Then we had to do a 5 hour flight all the way to Cancun. So exhausting first day. Beautiful, beautiful place though. Um, and I have some pictures I'll post in the chat for you guys. Um, if I can get them. We stayed at like the Rue Palace. It was beautiful. Um, it was all inclusive, so we could just eat whatever the heck we wanted. They had a lot of food. Uh, this is the place that I stayed at. With that once that gets uploaded, but yeah, we went there. We swam in the beach. They had multiple pools and stuff. Um, there was some rain and some storms on occasion. We went to see one of the seven wonders of the world, Chichen Itza, which was our like one excursion we ended up having there, where we went and we swam in a cenote at one of the stops on the way there. We got on this bus that was like took us like 3 hours to get over to where we are going, and then we stopped. They had stores. They had a cenote, and if you don't know what a cenote is, it's kind of like a sinkhole that's filled with water. I actually have a picture. It's super beautiful. Because it's like you're in a cave, but you can also look up. There's a big hole from which you can see the light pouring in.
Oh
And
wow.
there's like little catfish swimming around in the water. Um, it's really deep. It's like 80 feet deep of like water, and there's the hole with the light streaming in. Super pretty, absolutely beautiful, once in a lifetime experience. Um, I bought a Mayan obsidian dagger while I was there, as like authentic, made by the native Mayan people who were living in the area, which was super cool. Went to go see Chichen Itza. While we were there, though, it started raining super hard, and
Oh,
our tour guide was continuing his tour while we were all getting completely soaked. Yeah. it was terrible.
I mean, I guess they got a job to do. I mean, it doesn't matter what the weather's like.
I feel like at some point they're just kind of inured to it, but they get their jollies from watching the tourists be like absolutely fucking miserable.
Cool thing, if you like clap directly in front of the entrance to the top of Chichen Itza, like at the bottom, like below the stairs, and you clap, it will like the acoustics are such that it will project the sound back at you. Which was like the voice of the god of these people. Super interesting.
Huh.
Found a place where they had a kind of like almost like a makeshift basketball, except you can't touch it with your hands or feet. You have to use your head to get this ball through this hoop. And if you get the ball in the hoop, you can use your elbows, I think, and knees. If you get your ball in the hoop, they cut off your head.
Oh,
Because the people competing were born outside of their calendar in the 5 days that their calendar did not cover, because they had like a 360-day calendar, which meant that they were a negative life. So they had to be made right by competing in the game and then getting their head cut off.
to fight for the right to exist. Only
No,
Whatever
there's no fight for the right to exist. There's a fight for the right to die.
oh, I see. What a strange culture.
Yeah, crazy.
All of this instead of adding a few days to the calendar.
No, that's too hard. That's like
It-
making a new number.
I mean, in fairness, yeah, like, let's fucking talk about daylight savings time and how fucking bullshit that is to get rid of.
It's all like steeped in tradition, and the numbers as well are all like steeped in like various reasons why everything is numbered at a very specific amount.
It's always been like that, so it has to be like that.
Yeah. Well, anyway, that was a really fun excursion. It was freaking like 14 hours. We had to do 3 hours of a bus ride back, and it was terrible. We didn't have access to internet or any Wi-Fi on the bus or any snacks or anything, so we were soaking wet on a bus for 3 hours. It was terrible.
Does not sound like an enjoyable experience.
Then we're going to go on another excursion, but it got canceled from weather.
Hmm.
In addition, I also got food poisoning and could not be out of my hotel room and apart from my bathroom for more than 10 minutes.
Ouch.
Check the water.
Just- Horrible. I didn't even drink the water. I don't know. Something that I ate there was contaminated, or something that I drank that I did not know. And yeah, terrible. Absolutely terrible. And then the rest of my family started to feel ill. So we ended it sickly. We had a beautiful time, but it ended with the stuff we wanted to do getting canceled, and everybody got sick. When we got home, my parents and my brother tested positive for COVID.
Oh. Okay.
And I tested negative for COVID. So now I am quarantined because I am the only healthy one.
Well, you've already had it.
Yeah,
So-
I had it recently, so
You can still be a carrier, but you're fine.
yeah. So that was basically my week. Was travel to Mexico, swam at the beach for a little bit, had lots of good food, got sick, had a terrible time at the same time. Great vacation. Happy Father's Day, Dad. I got him a trophy, for because we were making a joke that he was Father of the Year. So I got him a Greatest Dad Ever trophy, and I wrote, you know, to Dad for like exemplary fatherliness. You did it right. There are a lot of worse fathers out there than you. Which he laughed at. But yeah, that's kind of been my week in a nutshell. I can't think of anything else because
maybe it was the nutshells.
I almost forgot. My obsidian dagger that I brought it back, and the blade had shattered into many different pieces.
Oh, maybe that was the food poisoning. It was cursed.
No. The reason is the obsidian is supposed to absorb the curses. I think it absorbed too much. But yeah, that was my week.
Okay.
You know that inside Chichen Itza there's another temple, and inside that is a cenote, another sinkhole filled with water, and at the bottom of that they found tons and tons and tons of bones.
That does not particularly surprise me.
So how you guys doing?
I'm good. Still got all my bones. Not cursed by ancient Mayan gods to shit myself, so I'm pretty okay, to be perfectly honest.
What an interesting curse. all these years. Just a little poop.
Poop when poop is not wanted is a pretty... There are more feeble curses than that. That can be a potentially significant curse.
True. I mean, there was a time where dehydration was a serious problem. So, that was deadly at one point.
Yeah.
It's not good to have diarrhea when you have to fly on a 7-hour flight.
That's a fair point. I had forgotten about the flight.
Like I say, poop when poop is not wanted is a fair curse.
Yep. Sitting on the aisle.
You would have to.
Glad that I did.
So, Casey, how was your week?
My week? God, what the fuck did I do this week? I re-upped all of my Stardew mods and everything's all fixed and working again now. So that's fun to go back to and just relax and such, as I tend to do. New Coheed album came out. It is kind of amusing to, I've read a few reviews and it's a weird sort of mix of, this is a really great album, it's got great stuff on it, and they do experimental things that they've never done before, and then you've got the old heads that are like, this is fucking garbage, I hate all this new synth crap, what the hell are they doing? I am so very glad that I am no longer a bratty teenage hipster that is anything is not rock is garbage and synth is because wow, that stuff seems so sad and petty in hindsight. But yeah, 10 albums, not a bad one in all of them. So Coheed continue to be my favorite band, possibly forever. Yay.
Yay, Coheed. Yay, Coheed.
Yay. What else did I do? I have been working up another commission, or rather just sort of workshopping it with the person that wants it. That is a thing that I'm going to be doing at some point in the future. they want to get to a certain point in one of my other commissions that they're having me do before we switch over to this new one. So that's gonna be.
What's the one you're getting to a certain point in?
It's the Naruto one. The
Gotcha.
yeah, that one. Yeah, so that's gonna be interesting. It makes it very strange to work on the one that is coming to a hiatus soon, because like it's a weird thing of, hey, this person wants me to work on something else. Does that mean I should rush to the point they want to get to so we can move on to the other thing, or should I still I should still make it good and everything, right? It's a weird and new experience writing under that particular situation, for lack of a better word coming to me, of just expectation of this thing being put to the side very soon, but I've still got to work on it, even though I have all of the details on this other thing they want me to write, so that's stuck in my brain. I don't know. It's weird.
I've been in the beta equivalent of that before, and it's very mentally jarring to be immersed in one project and have to bunny hop back to the other one.
Yeah. So. God damn it, Zero. Fuck. Yes, it's your fault whenever anyone yawns now.
Woohoo! Blameless.
Kill you. Murder.
Careful not to poop yourself on the way over.
I'm fully healthy now, thank you very much.
You never know, the curse could come back.
Good. That's the reason to fear, like threats or whatever, but I don't want to be pooped on, that's bad.
By the way, I meant to ask, did the knife break in transit on the plane, or like when did it break?
I do not know.
Oh.
I was wrapped up from the minute I bought it, so it wouldn't get damaged, but it got damaged.
Oh shit.
Well, you know.
Does it smell now? Because, you know, if it absorbed the poop curse, then...
Anyway.
That's not a no.
I don't know! Stop it!
He's afraid now. He's afraid if he checks, then it will.
That's how curses work. You have to acknowledge them.
Okay, so you know, one thing I forgot to mention. I was recently bribed into watching an anime by several of my friends.
What anime was it?
Symphogear.
I've heard the name, but it's not ringing a bell.
Symphogear is kind of like a magical girl show, but also not. It's really more Sentai, I guess, but also not. It's also really dark. Like, there's a lot of death and destruction, and I was not expecting that when I started watching it. Every episode feels like I'm watching a freaking movie. Surprisingly just high quality. With like emotional beats that have a very strong impact. Freaking gut punch is what it is. Like, oh, I was wrong. Watch Symphogear.
Zero told me to watch something, so I'm gonna not do that for 2 years and then watch it in 2 years and be like, hey, have you heard about this thing?
Yeah, that's typically how it goes. I'm typically ignored.
Your greatness is not recognized in your time. It's fine.
Yeah. After I pass, then they'll recognize me. I'll be like, you know what? You got some pretty good takes for that guy.
Pooped a bit too much, though. I'm not letting this go, and it's gonna run its course.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Not now, obviously, but at some point, it's gonna run its course.
I was in so much pain. You have no idea. I couldn't sleep from the pain. Awful. But my suffering is your amusement, I suppose.
Oh, yeah, it is. I mean, you said it yourself. You're fine now.
Yes. Now.
The dagger saved you from the poop. When you say it absorbed the curse...
All I gotta do is push the disconnect button right now.
Didn't have to, like, connect in any way,
I'm gonna push the...
Oh, there it went.
He's left the call. He'll be back. So... the fuck else did I do? I tried a new video game. It was excuse me. I say a new video game. I should mean it was actually a very old video game, but I wanted to try it.
What was it?
There you go.
Welcome back.
Okay. So I saw the the Capcom showcase thingy. What's it? Doohickey. Where they were showing off the new games with Resident Evil 4, where they decided that, hey, we want it to be scary and not cheeseball horror tropey garbage that
Terrible
people
decision.
liked. Yeah. Yeah. You know. Evil Spanish dwarf probably doesn't fly as well in 2022 than it did in 2004. Thing is, it didn't really fly in 2004 either, but, you know. But yeah, they were showing off another game in that showcase that I felt like, hey, I should give this series another go. So I bought Monster Hunter World because it's finished. So all of the stuff is in it to play. That game is okay, I guess. I am glad I got it cheap. It continues to not be my thing.
Yeah. It's always been just too grindy for me.
It might be because it is the world game and thus supposed to be very, very multiplayer focused. I do not play multiplayer games. I would like if there was just a very, very convenient button that says single player. So I don't have to go through online menus every time I want to do anything. To specifically tell the game I don't want to play with other people.
I feel like that should just be a thing you can turn off.
Yeah, every time you load up the game, you have to set up a server.
Oh.
Every single time you have to set up a server, and you have to say, I want it to be only players that have a matchmaking ID for this server, because that's the only way to make sure no one can get in. And then, even after doing that, you have to set every expedition or whatever else to one player. Every time you want to leave the hub, you have to set it to one player. No, game, I do not know how many times I have to tell you this. I don't want to play with other people. Just want to play on my own and experience the game. Please. Please? So that was a bit of a frustrating experience as part of that. Partially for figuring out that's how you do it to play single player. And partially continuing to have to deal with that for any time I wanted to play. Because it is just frustrating and...
Bless you.
And it feels like the game is haranguing me to play in a way that I don't want to play.
Is that one of the games where you get the cat companion if you don't have an online partner?
Yeah, Pelica.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it. So, like, you're given every reason to not want to play with other people. Your cat is probably better than a rando.
I like my kitty. It is adorable. It is a calico because that is the best kind of cat.
Cool.
And I named it Calico because I am lame at naming things.
Look, you're a writer in your professional time. In your spare time, you just low hanging fruit it. It's fine.
Yeah. So yeah, that it feels like the game is determined to make me not enjoy it. Is how the interface is set up. I had to go through a whole rigmarole to get the friggin' menus to be legible, because Capcom decided to do a very fun thing where if you are playing in windowed borderless, so it's basically full screen, but it doesn't like force weird things to be done to the resolution or whatever. What the game will do is, even if you set it to 1920 by 1080 in resolution, which is the resolution for my monitor, what the game will do is set it to like something like, what's the next one down? 1280, 720, something like that. And then just spread it to fit the proper resolution. So what that ends up doing is making all of the text, because it's very fine text, the print is very small, it makes all of it basically illegible and completely blurred, so you can't actually read any of it. They do not tell you it does this. So I was searching forums trying to figure out, like, okay, I can't read this shit. Is there a way to fix this? And everyone was like, no, not really.
Oh.
So I had to figure out for myself that it's just because it's in borderless window mode. And they're doing this weird shit. And as soon as I set it to proper full screen, it was all completely fine. So, thanks, Capcom. That's a really weird and stupid decision that you made for me in doing that, rather than just actually having it at the proper resolution. And if the game has problems running, then maybe I can change the resolution so that it actually works better. Like, you know, don't treat me like a fucking moron and let the settings do what the settings are supposed to do. Assholes. But, you know, whatever. So,
it feels like that game is making many decisions for you, and all of them are bad.
Yeah, a little bit. It's, like, I will give, like, I will be perfectly fair to the one game that I played before this was on a portable system. I am generally not going to be favorable to games that are on portable systems for legibility. If they decide to have fine print on a portable system, I am not going to be able to read it. It is going to suck for me. And that was a really shit reason to not really want to do anything with Monster Hunter as a series. So I gave them a fair shot, and there are things I like about the game. There are things about this game that I really fucking don't. So, I don't know. Is that enough of a reason for me to give them yet another fair shake and try Monster Hunter Rise instead? I don't think so at the moment.
Yeah, I think unless you have like a genuine interest in what that game's about, it's probably not worth your time. Like
Like,
I tried Monster Hunter Stories, which was very different, and it
yeah, it's
didn't really.
the Switch main one where it's like a completely different kind of game, right?
Yeah, I didn't really enjoy that much, and I did play a bit of Monster Hunter. I believe it was 4 Ultimate or something on the 3DS.
That might be the one that I played.
And I did enjoy my time with that, but it's also like if you don't have friends who are actively playing that game, there's not a lot of enjoyment that I can get out of that game because a lot of it is just grinding.
Yeah. Of the actual gameplay, I did find myself enjoying some of it. Like, just going through the environment and trying not to get the attention of the gigantic monsters and find the things that I'm supposed to be looking for. That was neat. And then going on a proper hunt and like following tracks and everything so it appeared on the mini map and I could like try and ambush it. That was all cool. I enjoyed that. The last thing I did was the tutorial for, I think it's called the Clutch Claw, something like that. It's like a grappling hook that you can use to like snag a giant enemy and drag yourself towards them, and you can do special moves with it. That all seemed pretty cool once they actually showed me how it's supposed to work. It's just everything else getting in the way of the actual game. This is the problem. So yeah, I don't know. I might go back to it and give it another shot. If it continues to be an irritation, then I might give Rise a shot. I don't know whether Rise is functionally different in terms of that though. Like, is it designed to be a very multiplayer game as well, or is it actually does it allow for people just fucking play on their own for fuck's sake? I don't know. So I would have to like watch videos and check to see whether that's the case before I would put more money down on it. But this game has irritated me enough that I may or may not try it again. Like I say, I enjoyed what little I was able to play of it, but there is a point where you are like 3 or 4 hours into fucking with the interface, trying to get it to fucking work properly and be legible and not give yourself a headache getting eye strain from trying to read the fucking menus that they've decided to blur for me rather than do it in proper resolution. There is a point where you don't care whether the game is any good anymore and you just want to fucking get rid of it. So
Understandable.
I went on a bit of a journey with that one. But yeah. Not the journey they intended me to take, sadly. It's a shame, because it seemed like a fun one. Hey, game developers. Maybe, just as a general thing as well, by the way, let people have decent sized text. Let people alter text size, just in general. Like, the medium to large text size change that you apparently did in 1.5. It's a step in the right direction. I would not call it medium to large. I would call it to medium to slightly larger than medium. In fact, I would probably have called it small to start with and said slightly larger than small. But it's something. Step in the right direction. Take more steps, please. More steps in that direction. If you would. Thank you very much. So yeah. I think that's pretty much it for my week though. Sonic Origins came out. I did not play it. Apparently people don't like it. It's buggy and such. And the developers are like, hey, it was not this buggy when we gave it to Sega. We don't know.
It's also, I believe the game was rushed.
It was, yeah. They do acknowledge that, yeah, there were some bugs and we didn't get a chance to fix them all. We wanted to delay, but they wouldn't let us. But there were also some things that were not problems in the game when we handed it off to Sega that are now problems, and we don't know where they came from.
In addition, Sonic and Knuckles' OST has been kind of replaced, I believe, with Sonic 3 and Knuckles, because Michael Jackson had worked on the original soundtrack and copyright issues.
Yeah, they did finally confirm that yes, Michael Jackson did absolutely work on that soundtrack, even though he's completely uncredited. He did work on that. I assume it wasn't Ice Cap Zone like everyone thought it was, because that is actually a different song entirely. That is actually a legit song that most of it is just completely ripped from. But yeah. So they replaced some of the soundtrack for fear of, like, the Jackson estate is a little bit of a problem when it comes to that sort of thing. Being maybe a little bit litigious. So they're just like, we don't want to deal with that. So we're replacing it with stuff that was made by Jun Sanui, who, you know, is the soundtrack guy for the Sonic series. So it's not like it would be out of place, but it's different, and so people don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's really surprised this game didn't turn out very well.
I was hopeful. I mean, I saw the thing, and it's like, hey, it's headcanon, and they did Sonic Mania and stuff, and I like the ideas that they've put in this thing, and I was hoping.
I suppose I should ask, is this the one where the entire trailer was just a Unity store flip?
What?
One of the Sonic games that's either coming out or has come out already, the promotional trailer for it was just 100% Unity assets.
Are you talking about Sonic? No, Sonic Origins was old classic Sonic games. I think you're thinking of Sonic Frontiers.
That's probably it, yeah.
Which I'm still hopeful for that game. That it will at least be decent.
That's cute.
I mean, that's the state of being a Sonic fan these days.
Yeah.
Hope.
I gotta hold on to. I'm holding on to something. If it's not okay, if it's not good, then well, you know, oh well.
It's a weird and sad state of affairs because, you know, Sonic 3D games were like a bad joke for like adventure games had a divisive reputation, and then after that it was bad, and after that it was worse, and then it was a little less bad, but it was still ridiculous. Like that was the Weirhog phase, and then Generations came out, and suddenly there is a good Sonic game in 3D. How strange. It's almost like they can do this. Okay, cool. So that's great. We can just have that as just the template for future games, and everything's fine. We don't need to worry about anything. And then Sonic Forces came out.
Yeah. I think the lesson here is don't dive too hard into fan fiction for official games.
Sonic Forces is so fucking funny.
I like the derpy character that you make that doesn't fit in with any of the character designs.
And they knew it wouldn't. Like, they could absolutely have made a character that fit in. Just, you know, close enough. But instead, they made a character that was just, like, had these big, dorky glasses and stuff, and just completely looked like something from that Blank the Hedgehog meme thing where you type it into Google with your name. It absolutely looked like one of those, and they use it in all the trailers.
I actually hadn't thought about that, but they would. I guess they wanted to capture the user experience because that is guaranteed what most people are playing as.
I mean, yeah, that there were absolutely, like, I played that game. There were absolutely ways to make it into something that could kind of fit into the setting, but they didn't want to do that for the trailer, I guess. So
Nah. I just love the fact that Sonic was tortured off screen, and no one's like, "All right, I guess we'll save him later."
yeah, Sonic was tortured for months. We need to go and save him, and then it literally smash cuts to where Sonic is being held captive, and he's like, "Well, guess it's time to get out of here," and he just fucking leaves.
Just walks out,
Yeah.
strolls. It's great stuff, really. Excellent writing.
If it were fun to play, it would be like The Room of video games.
True.
Oh boy. But yeah, I'm sure Sonic Frontiers will be good. No worries.
I'm sure. Just huffing copium. All of it. Or hopium? One of the two. Maybe both.
You got it's like one of those like beer hats with like two cans with like a straw coming down. One of the cans says copium, the other says hopium.
It's two-fisting it. Great.
Look,
The cans are empty, and they've been empty for a while, by the way.
Oh, that's brutal.
But you're still just sucking on them. Just please a little more.
Still
please.
trying to get a little bit of the fumes left. I think that Sonic Origins will probably be patched, and I'll pick it up when it's patched.
Yeah.
It's probably worth checking out in a couple months.
Just not right now, but they'll probably just patch it and be fine.
Yeah.
That seems like if the issue is time, you can always release a post-release patch.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, we're almost in July.
Yep.
Yeah. Wait, why is that significant?
Because July is when a bunch of games are going to be coming out that I'm interested in, and I'm going to be pretty busy playing those games.
Cool.
Because time is an ever-increasing avalanche.
Yeah,
Yes.
I have no idea what significant releases are on the horizon. Despite watching the Xbox showcase and seeing all the headlines from the PlayStation thing and the Capcom thing. And
It's specifically stuff that I'm interested in, to be fair. It is Xenoblade 3, Live Alive, and Digimon Survive are all coming out within like a couple weeks of each other.
Fair.
Weeb shit.
Yeah.
You have no grounds on which to
Yeah, I
say
know.
that. You have negative grounds, in fact, good sir.
Tell me again how good the Tsukihime visual novel is.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Let me just check my inbox. Of the
How's
recent
that?
update.
How's all that fanfic going of those animes, huh?
It's nicely lucrative. Thank you for asking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair. I mean, money in the bank is the right response to that.
So yeah, I don't know what's coming out anytime soon. I know Castori is coming out in FGO, so that's cool.
Yeah.
That's the thing I'm looking forward to. But I don't really have any like video game things I'm looking forward to in particular. It's telling that even unconsciously I still refer to that as not a video game. So
No, of course not. It's not. No gacha game is a video game. It's a JPEG collector.
good JPEGs though.
Yeah, naturally. If you got one thing going, you may as well be the best at it.
Good JPEGs.
Good fun for fanfics.
Yeah.
I almost forgot because I was too busy focusing on Mexico. I finished watching the Kenobi show.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that's a
Is the
thing.
first season over? Or
First, it's over. I think that final episode is worth justifying the existence of this show.
Oh,
Very, very good. Very well done.
It has been renewed.
Okay. Well, a second season would be... I don't know where they would go with that, but sure. There were, I believe, Obi-Wan comics or something they're probably going off of.
I wouldn't be surprised.
But one thing this really helps establish is it helps to bridge the gap between the Hayden Christensen Anakin and the Darth Vader from Episode 4, which is really nice.
They tried to do that with Star Killer in the Force Awakens games. It didn't work out very well there.
Well, they bridged the gap character-wise, is how I mean. Like, the character writing is on point. And it's nice to see actual lightsaber fights that have choreography. I really missed that in the sequel trilogy, where the lightsaber fights had negative choreography, I would say.
In fairness, for most of the sequel trilogy, wasn't it a case of no one knowing what the fuck they were doing because all the Jedi were basically gone, and so were the Sith?
It was a case. The case is, though, that in those fights, you would have tons of enemies that would be jumping back when they're not even being hit or even looked at, because the actors are actually just missing the timing on their actual fight choreography. Like, it was a sincere lack of polish, which this show has plenty of polish. Also caught up on Stranger Things as well, season 4. It's a good show. Good show.
I'm really looking forward to that coming out soon.
I remember trying to watch that, I think. Like, I watched maybe the first episode, I want to say. It didn't really grab me.
You kind of got to give it a... It's a Netflix thing, so, binging is kind of the way. You have to watch a little bit more than just the first episode, I think. But
I guess that was the thing of, like, you can binge this, you can watch the entire show if you want to, and that was basically an excuse of, if you don't find the first episode interesting, you can just keep watching. It's fine. Just let it go.
Yeah.
The main problem with season 4 is it does start very slow.
Yeah. It starts slow, but it has some pretty crazy things that happen, including a whole plot line that goes into, like, Russia.
Topical.
Yeah.
Do they try and portray them as, like, a terrifying military force? Because that might have been, like, poorly timed.
No, quite the opposite.
No. Yeah, it is. It's a good show. Has some weak parts, I think, around season 2, but picks up after that. Yeah, I don't want to say anything without spoiling it, but I was watching that, and Kenobi. I actually downloaded one of the episodes of Kenobi so that I could watch it on the flight. And that was enjoyable. I like Obi-Wan Kenobi a lot. I think he is one of my favorite, if not my favorite, Star Wars character.
Yeah.
I wish we got more Qui-Gon Jinn, honestly.
Well, watch the Kenobi show.
Fair.
Because where we last left off with episode 3 was he was just trying to say, hey, you can go. Yoda was like, yo, you can go train with Qui-Gon. He did the Force Ghost thing, and Obi-Wan's like, yeah, sure, that sounds sick.
Nice.
So,
well, I look forward to binge watching that at some point. Probably sometime this week.
So, yeah. As an aside, I watched a video today of Russians launching a surface-to-surface missile, and it immediately does a U-turn.
Oh, I saw that video, yeah. That's great.
Yeah, so that's anyway.
It was at night too, so they saw it coming.
It was all very, very visible what was happening, yes. Oh boy. Yeah, so
I just saw the video. Oof.
yeah. It didn't hit them, just to be clear. It landed about 100 meters away. But
Comment: a war so wrong, even the weapons are choosing sides.
Nice.
Jesus Christ. Oh boy. So yeah.
So did you guys get through all the things you forgot, or can I get to my week now?
I think that's everything. Yeah.
Please, please,
so. Yeah.
speak.
Hey, Slicer, talk about your week 25 minutes ago.
Slicer, talk about your week.
It's pretty short, honestly.
Anyway, I'm kidding.
Ass. So, been reading a lot of My Hero Academia stuff. Got caught up with the manga too. I've just kind of given up at this point. I want to see the end. I'm not even really excited for it.
Yeah.
I'm actually in the same boat too now.
Rush
so close
is
to being
understating it.
I was still holding out hope, and I was like, yeah, you know what? They're gonna go back, but the pacing, and the skip forward really did cause sort of a domino effect, I think.
He wants to be done. That's
some actual closure and some like much needed talks would have been nice.
yeah.
So, minor side spoiler for something that doesn't matter. Izuku and Ochiko talk, and there was a perfect chance to have like some kind of honest confession of their feelings for each other that have been danced around for the entire series. They're just like, no, sometimes villains are really sympathetic. And then the talk was over.
Yeah. Yeah. In fairness, that was a point that they touched on like way ago. Like I want to say like the provisional license exam, where it's like Ojiko watches him being like heroic and shit, and he's trying his hardest, and he doesn't have any time for squishy feelings that I'm just sort of carrying along, even though I could be working as hard as he is. So I'll stop and just put this away for now and just focus on being a hero. So there is a reason, and it is explicitly stated why they are not doing that for the time being.
Yeah. I feel like in a story with more time, that could be fleshed out. It'd be like, no, it's actually really bad to forget that you're a human being. Oh well. So
they did do that too in a manga plot that hasn't happened in the anime yet, so it feels wrong to spoil.
fair.
But yeah, I feel like all that development that the villains got in that one villain arc that had a really cool concept that they just shat on for the sake of trying to get the villains over. I feel like all that development was kind of wasted for how the rest of the story has gone.
Yeah.
If you want to read something really good in the universe of My Hero Academia, go read My Hero Academia Vigilantes.
I've heard good things, and the fact that it's complete.
It is complete. It tells a good story. It has a likable main character who remains consistently likable throughout the entirety of it. And there is closure and explanation as to why this character does not appear in My Hero Academia.
Hey, that's good. We don't have
And it explains the thing that happened at some point in the fucking main series that really was not foreshadowed at all in the main series.
Well, I
What
look forward to
thing?
reading it.
Kurogiri.
It does go a little bit into that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't
It
think the main series ever
establishes that a
talks.
character exists.
Yeah,
Which,
they don't talk about his identity, and then suddenly they do.
yeah.
With no, yeah, I can see. Fair enough.
Yeah.
So
that was.
reading a lot of that. I've been watching The Boys.
Yeah, I've been watching that too.
I cannot wait for the next 2 episodes. We got just a taste of the final fight, and oh man, can't wait.
I should give that a shot.
Okay. How susceptible are you to feeling bad because you're helpless?
I usually feel helpless, so I don't
Oh, fair.
disability and stuff. So it's a thing. It's fine.
Then you'll probably be fine.
Okay.
I this feels shitty to say. I'm an able-bodied white person
Yeah.
and male, standard person. I can usually force my way out of any given situation I'm in if I need to. I don't obviously want to, but I can. So that's always there. There's always that confidence. So being put in a situation where I'm straight up helpless bothers me because I don't experience it. So watching The Boys, which is a crushing feeling of helplessness, it gets me.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
It's The Boys is a show which features extremely powerful people, not just with superpowers, but with the ability to move things and have actual like influence as well. There's a huge corporation that's also like behind some of the bad guys. There are bad guys as well, and so there's like multi-layered levels of powerlessness because in the first hand, you have freaking evil superheroes that can do whatever they want and cause people to die and get away with it. On the other hand, you also have the company backing them, which can sweep anything they do under the rug and is also doing evil stuff as well. And it feels so imposing. And so anytime you strike back at that, you see the boys strike back at that, you get that feeling of catharsis.
It's great. Get those little moments and you enjoy them where you can before the helplessness sets back in and the next fucked up situation presents itself.
Okay. Having watched Invincible, how will this end up stacking up? Will my experience be undermined by having seen Invincible first?
Invincible is written by somebody who loves superheroes. The Boys is written by somebody who hates superheroes.
I would argue, and this is hard to argue because I spoiled myself as soon as I stopped watching Invincible of what happens in the comic. Invincible just keeps getting worse. The situation just gets grimmer and grimmer and grimmer. This does seem like it has an end point, and like you don't know how to get there, but it's there. You can see it. So I think The Boys is less grim.
It's
I also know how Invincible ends, like in the comics, and you might have missed something because it's not as grim as it seems, or at least it doesn't end that way.
Oh, eventually, yes, but it takes a long time to get there.
I would say the thing is, at least in Invincible, you have a lot of heroes that are good, people that are good. You have like maybe like one or two that are actually good in The Boys. Most of them are evil, or just are on a power trip and don't care about human life at all.
It's true. There are a lot more worse characters or morally gray characters leaning toward black.
So, would you say this show ascribes to the idea that power corrupts, absolute power, etc., etc.?
Yes.
That's
Screaming that message. Absolutely screaming it.
I hate that shit.
There are examples of characters that are not corrupted by that power, but the some of the one of the main characters specifically, Butcher, who wants to get rid of all superpowered people, or soups as he calls them. He fully believes that ideology.
It's also true in the reverse. Powerlessness also leads to corruption and moral decay, as you seek out any and every means to not be helpless. So yeah, I think it's an interesting show, and I've been enjoying it. But I can fully understand if it's not anyone's cup of tea.
I will have to give it a go and see.
I'd recommend it. Yeah. I think the first season is great. I think you'd enjoy
it. Everybody's gonna get something different out of it. It's a show that is certainly not for everyone, but I enjoy it.
Yeah, let's see. Oh, right. Very briefly, actually, this morning, I played a VR game, and I cannot remember the name of it, but it's just basically a gun simulator, and there's a mode where you can go in this labyrinth and you shoot living hot dogs.
That sounds nice.
It's like Meat Space or something like that. It's meat something, and everything in the game is meat puns. And so you just run around. The slot machines spit out a random gun, and you can use them, and you go defend little points from walking hot dogs. It's great. It's a fun game, and I wish I could remember the name of it, because I will absolutely buy it as soon as I have a computer and VR. Which is one of the first things on my to get list. Yeah.
Okay.
I also played a board game where it's very grim. It's basically Berserk, the board game.
Ooh.
So you go out on these hunts and you hunt down monsters, and various horrible things happen to you. Like I came back from a hunt, and my character was so crazy that he looked at a pile of bones and it's like, I could eat that. I could eat those bones. And so I got Skull Eater Fever.
What's the name of this?
It's called Kingdom Death.
Yeah, Kingdom Death Monster.
Yeah, it's great.
I know.
And so I entered the bone zone, and then I rolled to see how that would affect my character. And I was so visibly crazy that the rest of the settlement decided to just not deal with my shit and killed me.
That sounds fair. I mean, yeah.
I really want to play Kingdom Death one of these days.
It's brutal and hilarious. Just the sheer brutality of it is great. Like, you're hunting a monster. You find its droppings. Do you eat the shit to understand this monster? Or do you ignore it and gain, like, a monster part or something?
It's very Berserk. It's very Dark Souls, too.
Yeah, very. It's very fun, but man, the game is like crazy expensive. I'm really glad I know someone who's already bought it, because oh man, it's pricey. But of course, you can always tabletop simulator it, so you can get it, play it that way. So it's probably the superior method. Really. But yeah, I believe that's my week. I'm gonna make some tacos here pretty soon, so meal prepping.
Yeah.
Yay, tacos.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I guess that's the fucking episode, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think we have Patreon this week. That would be next week, I believe. So.
Next week.
Oh, fuck you, Zero.
See how much he despises me? Such visceral hatred. Honestly, I think that you need to seek out some help, Casey.
Truly. Casey's angry.
Something. Poop dagger.
Yeah.
See, all of your yawning has made me yawn to the point where I'm sleepy and can't think of jokes anymore. So this is your fault too.
All right.
The shitty dagger jokes. About the shitty dagger.
Of course. It's clearly all your fault. Understood.
Patreon, Discord, links in the description. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
See you guys.